How do I, 28F, tell him, 29M, that I'm leaving with our 5-month-old? I, 28F, have been arguing non-stop with my partner, 29M, for about 3 months. We have a 5-month-old baby. My whole pregnancy, I worked until I was induced at 41 weeks. Partner hasn't held down a job in 2 years. He is home all day while I am on maternity leave, yet he does not help with the baby at all. I am doing this completely by myself. I am paying all the bills, using up all my savings, funding his weed habit and his unemployment, all while looking after a new baby. I've tried to express my dissatisfaction, but the arguments turn toxic. He accuses me of cheating, goes into a blind rage, screaming how he wishes he never met me, hates me. I'm a narcissistic bitch. It's horrible. He's been on the couch for 3 months, and I can't do it anymore. I've been waiting for him to get it together, but it's never going to happen. So I've viewed a house, and the landlord like me, and if I pass all the checks I can move in ASAP. I will pass the checks. My credit history is great. I'm going back to work in 2 months, so we'll have solid income. How do I tell him it's over and I'm moving out and taking our child with me? I'm terrified it will push him over the edge because he will have nothing. But at the same time, he's brought it on himself. Any advice would be appreciated. I understand having a baby with a man like this was not wise, but he wasn't like this when we got together. We had a traumatic miscarriage 2 years ago and he hasn't been the same since. Assume that he will descend into a screaming rage and plan accordingly. Make sure all of you and your child's documents are stored in a safe place he cannot access. Make sure he has no access to your bank accounts, email, social media, any and everything. Do this now. The ideal would be to move your stuff when he's not in the house. Is he ever not in the house? Either way, having someone there with you when you move will be important. Maybe you can also start packing suitcases with stuff he won't notice missing and stash them in a closet or your car. Maybe you can start your lease and slowly begin moving stuff over there and getting set up before you officially leave and tell him. Do not imagine you will tell him before you are actually moving and this will be a peaceful affair. It won't go well. Don't tell him your new address. Set up a consult with a lawyer to go over custody options and make sure your ducks are in a row in terms of the child. Good luck. You can do this. If you're concerned for your safety, break the news to him in public and plan to never coexist in the same house with him again. Talk to a lawyer on the need to provide your new address to him. If it's a custody thing, you can do those in police station parking lots, etc. It doesn't need to be at your home. Make a plan to not be alone with him once you tell him the news. If you have somewhere else to go that's safe, do that. If you're on a lease with him, be prepared to still have to pay for him to live there once you leave. He could just stay there and squat and not pay a dime. Good luck. Wow, he sounds like an absolute bum. 1. Start documenting his rages. Record discreetly. 2. Keep a log, diary of incidents with him. 3. If you have family or friends, leave baby on move-out day with family or friend. 4. See a lawyer. Get an order of child support. 5. Move out. If you feel the baby would be unsafe with him, you need to document as much as you can and I guess file a restraining order. Lawyer can help guide you on that. He's the father and ideally he should be invoked in the baby's life, but only if it's safe. You might be able to get to court supervised visitation if this is an issue. Make sure you file an order for child support. He is legally and morally obligated to support his child. Even if you can't collect anything, it's good to have that just in case you need leverage for whatever reason. If he starts to get really nasty with you and hasn't been laying child support, it gives you something to work with. Nothing worse than dealing with an irrational actor with nothing to lose. He is not your child. He's a man. Once you had a baby, your life isn't fully your own. Your baby will need at least one functioning parent. You are doing what you have to do. The important thing is document as much as you can. If you feel he'll react poorly to you leaving, it'll be best to do it without warning. Understand legal obligations and such. You're the mother, so I believe you can take your baby wherever. He can't stop you from doing whatever without going through the courts. Good luck to you and your baby. Go to your new house first and break up with him over the phone. He sounds like he could react aggressively and possibly violently. If you need things for your house, have a friend or family member come with you. Though stuff might be broken or sold, try to sneak essentials out when your BF is away if you can. Leave first, tell him after, don't tell him the address. I'm terrified it will push him over the edge because he will have nothing. He's not your responsibility. You and your child are. He's an adult. An absolutely lazy, vile, vicious adult. But an adult who can look after himself. Stop worrying about him. He's been looking after himself for ages by leeching off you. We had a traumatic miscarriage 2 years ago and he hasn't been the same since. He made your traumatic miscarriage about him? WTAF, how were you exactly after this happened? Document, document, document. Without evidence. He could. Not saying he will. But do you want to risk it? Make it look like he cleaned himself up and go for custody. I hate when anyone weaponizes kids for their own greed. Make sure he can't do that to you. Contact the domestic violence hotline, thehotline.org. They have online chat if you're afraid of being overheard. Your husband is abusing you and leaving is the most dangerous time for you. They are experts at safely escaping and can help you do this in the safest way. They are there to help even if the abuse hasn't gotten physical. I promise they will be happy to tell you how best to manage this. Whatever you do, do not give him warning or any inkling that you're preparing to leave. I know you've only mentioned emotional abuse, but there are plenty of dead women whose partners never physically hurt them until they tried to leave. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's not your fault. I wish you all the best. Talk to a lawyer about custody first if you're worried for your safety. Have someone else there with you when you tell him and when you move. I would move out enough to get by before he notices. I would make sure baby is safe with someone else when you tell him to avoid the baby witnessing any more abuse. I would get the keys in hand before you say anything. Maybe even take someone you trust with you to break the news. Just make sure when you walk out the door you never have to go back for anything. I almost stopped reading after this. Funding his weed habit and his unemployment. Get rid of him, move on. Make certain that when you tell him, the baby is safely with someone else. And you have someone with you in the event that he gets violent. If possible, try to do the bulk of your moving out when he isn't present. Your situation sounds volatile and I really think you need to have someone with you when you tell him you are moving out and when you actually move. Make sure all your important documents and information are somewhere safe. For your own safety, do not do any part of this process alone with him. Kudos to you for having the strength to get out of this toxic situation. I wouldn't tell him until you are gone. You need to lock down any shared accounts so he can't take your money. You need to make sure your information is secure so he can't use it when you're gone. Social Security, insurance number, credit details, etc. You need to tell someone in your life your real story and make sure they know you may potentially be in danger. If you can't sneakily move out, then have everything arranged for moving day and pre-arrange a police escort or for several friends, family for the day you tell him, and take all of your things in one shot. The day you leave, change everything. Every password, every social media name, your phone number, etc. If he wants to talk about your child, he can contact a lawyer to do so. After you leave, be careful about leaving work so that he can't follow you and find out where you live. Have a camera outside your home and change any and all locks the day you move in. Make sure your employer knows that no one is to give out any information about your schedule and that if he ever shows up, he's to be escorted out. Best of luck keeping yourself and your child safe. Plan your escape. When he sleeps, pack your car, documents, get the baby and leave. Have your parents and anyone you trust to help you. It will take some planning. You will tell him that you left him from a safe place. This man is unstable and unpredictable. Have a bunch of friends come over and help you pack up your stuff and tell him you're leaving. That way you have people with you and you get out at the same time. You pack up everything that can fit in your car while he isn't home and drive away. Do not contact him except through a lawyer. Get a group together of family and friends and make sure they are there with you when you tell him. Even if no one else knows. You have nothing to be ashamed of these or his actions. And your support will understand why they are needed. Before moving out, contact a lawyer for custody information and how to protect you and your child legally in your state. You can do this. Good luck. Move out, then tell him. He sound unstable.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.